Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to the Patchwork scenario for Railway Empire and the German DLC. And look how much quieter this station is now that we've made those changes. Now that we've routed some trains out into a secondary station, we've removed the 4 or 5 trains or so, or 6 trains it might have been, that were passenger trains running on the line. We've got rid of those completely. We've got rid of the stacking of trains over here being condensed with 6 lines condensing into 4. And then same over here. Look how much better stuff is flowing. There's no big queues. We've got a train here using our supply tower one starting to come up behind it. Others closing in on it. But as soon as that goes through, look at this. Loads and loads of empty space over here. Look at this. No queues all the way through here. We haven't got that bottleneck of traffic just all clogging up at one point waiting to get into our station. So the combination of removing the no longer necessary passenger lines, opening up our connections on these lines here so that they're both twin track going into our auto signals and again at the other end of the line as well. As I say, this second station here to divert some of our trains in here, it has made a real difference, hasn't it, as you can see. A lot less stuff kind of stacking up. You know, this whole area was just completely clogged in all directions. Not the case anymore. You can see stuff flowing so much better. I'm seeing a lot of trains. Yeah, I didn't put a supply tower on this run here. Let's deal with that right now. So I'm seeing a lot of trains with exclamation marks here. And one thing I have also noticed is that I've seen a couple of breakdowns popping up, I think to bad condition. Most of our trains we've been kind of dealing with repairs at each station, but they've been fine. I was looking at finally kind of relenting and switching up to the most powerful freight train that we have here, the Consolidation B, in that respect. But when we look at it, you can see this is a dedicated freight train, and we're pretty much only running freight now. It's 35 miles an hour. It's got some pretty strong tractive power at 121%. We're currently running these, the Class 3Bs. Now these are faster, have less tractive power though, so theoretically, if it's a very heavy load, the Consolidation will be just as fast as a struggling Class B. But look at the reliability, 112% on a Class 3, 60% on a Consolidation B. These things would be breaking down all the time if we went with these. And it's an expensive upgrade as well. To switch out all 291 of our trains would cost us 7 million. That's insane. So we're not going to do that at all. We'll stick with our Class Bs. But what we can also do is we can, because we've got the Limmat now, so we could switch to the Limmat. Now this is slightly slower. It's at 29 miles an hour. I'm just looking at this is one of our early trains, isn't it? So we don't want that. So the Class B is the best train that we can really go with. You know, we look at some of the other ones there. We've got the Dragon. It's a slow train. We're going to stick with the Class 3B. Let's have a look at replacing all of our trains. Give them fresh trains across the whole network. And we've got a new industry available here in Magdeburg. So getting those chairs being shipped out is very, very good for us. What can we throw in over here? Now we put in a candy factory over here, and Brandenburg is still growing as a result. We need something that's going to complement Berlin and Brandenburg and our own city here. And then potentially, you know, we can ship goods out this way if we start developing these cities here as well, which we've kind of ignored, to be fair. We've been focusing on these ones over here. So what can we throw in that isn't in these cities that we could export and potentially run down to Cottbus as an extra option as well? Although I do kind of just want to focus on just these two so the journeys aren't horrendously long. What is available? We don't have dairy over here, do we? Yeah. We don't have any dairy on this section. Now, do we have a dairy farm in the region that we can tap into? Not seeing any dairy around here. Ah, there's dairy over there. So we could run a train this way into Magdeburg that way. In fact, there's nothing on these lines at all, I don't think. So we can just run straight through those connections there. We do have this potential issue here, so we can either raise that up or go under it or go over it. Let's put in a station. We tag them both with a large station. That will help. We'll run into the centre here. And we want to run that into there like that. Do we go underneath? I think it's going to be the easiest way, isn't it? Under then rather than over. Let's just do that. Which platform did I go in on, Nev? Okay. Alright, so again, I want a switch point. I want signals. And I want a supply tower as well. So I need to put in my dairy industry. Oh, that slowdown's terrible. Let's get the dairy farm in, and we'll get it nice and close to the station if we can, to speed up how quickly it gets loaded. That's about as close, I think, as we can get. We're going to upgrade that a couple of times. So again, we're not just meeting the demand in the city, but meeting and surpassing that demand to enable us to ship it to other towns and cities as well. Run dairy in this way from Timmerman Quarry. We'll start on platform 3 with dairy. And we're going to buy that dairy plant just there and upgrade it twice, because we can also ship dairy as a milk product to our cities just to promote growth there as well. We're going to clone this train twice more, and then we're going to run in grain from here as well. So this is going to leave from platform 2 and focus on grain. And then, of course, if we have a surplus of grain in the city, it can then pick up dairy if there's a need for dairy as well. So let's add in a grain train. And that one's actually picking up a unit of dairy. There is no demand because the demand's already been picked up by the dairy train here. Okay, that's fine. So we've got plenty of dairy on its way into Magdeburg, which will create plenty of cheese, which can then be shipped to Brandenburg. Brandenburg is closing in, as you can see, closing in on 120, but that cheese will help push it over the edge. Berlin needs some work. What is Berlin stall at? 89,000. Problem is, we've got a Brandenburg gate here that we can't get rid of, so we're losing that ability to get that extra 10% in. We've got plenty of pigs, but we're not producing the meat fast enough, so let's expand the industry. You can see we've got that huge surplus of pigs available, that raw material. So that will help produce more meat. There's the demand for meat in the city. 9.6 cartloads per week is the demand. Even with our new upgrade, we're producing only 6.4. No, hang on, that's not right. I'm looking at the pig demand. Meat demand is 1.5 per week. So this will help us now, making 6.4. Again, ship that meat out and help support our neighbouring cities. What about boots? Boots, we're getting plenty of boots. Our tailors are struggling for wool. We're not getting wool in on a regular enough basis to keep the tailors running. So let's see, how many wool trains do we have? We're running from the warehouse. What's this one picking up? Is this one going to pick up beets, or is this one going to pick up wool? That's picking up wool. I've got another one there with wool. So we're not getting beets in there. Okay, we're going to need a beet train. So we'll run another warehouse train into Berlin. But this one, we will get it to focus on beets. There we go. And you can see there's actually not a huge demand for beets at the moment. 4 carloads, and then the rest is being taken up by wool. So, again, that just gives us a nice little balance. It helps us getting in a product that we need a little bit of, and then bringing in more of a product we have a big demand for. That'll help us out. Another set of 3 points. What else can we blow these on? Reduce maintenance requirements by 20%. Yes. Try and keep our trains as consistently, constantly moving as possible. The less time they spend stationary being fixed, the better. Brandenburg up to 110,000, still climbing. Magdeburg about to hit 100,000. Our dairy farm, getting that dairy in, starting to produce. That will hopefully start to stockpile a little bit. Let's see, where are our dairy trains? We do actually have trains running into Brunswick, remarkably. Here we go, here's our Timmerman Quarry trains. That's a grain train. We're going to clone the grain train. Is that the one? Yeah. Because again, it can pick up dairy, or it can help relieve some of the pressure over here so that there's more hops able to be brought over this way. They're not being taken up by deliveries of grain from the other station. Saves having to throw extra trains on that stretch of track there, potentially. So these cities growing very, very nicely indeed. We do need to improve stuff over here. So let's check. Where is Berlin shipping to? To Brandenburg, and only to Brandenburg, and then to Gurk Manor. So we need to get some trade going between Berlin and Magdeburg. For some reason there is no trade going. I don't know why, but we'll get that sorted. Let's get the train running out. And coming in on those lines down there, because that's quite congested. There we go, a couple of trains running on that line. Ah, there we go, Berlin just grew as a result of shipping those goods out. We're up to 90,000 and space for a new industry. So it's time for us to do that little look around again and see what we can put in that will support our nearby cities. We have a bakery, a brewery, a dairy over there, so we need to avoid those in Berlin. We have tailors and a sausage factory. We have another bakery, smoked ham, candies, dairy, furniture, beer. So we could go with maybe sauerkraut. Do we have potatoes nearby? And what do we have over this way? We've got sauerkraut and Posen. So we could theoretically be getting sauerkraut in and out that way, but it could help us with our stuff over here. I'm going to go, I think, because we've got a fruit train over there, and it's not too much effort to loop a line across this way, and then in this way. I think we're going to go with a distillery in Berlin. We don't have a distillery in Cottbus, so we don't have to worry about alcohol in there. We can go all the way across here to Posen. There is one there, but it's a long journey. So there's scope for beer to be delivered in both directions, or distilled stuff to be delivered in both directions. What are the other options as well? We could go with porcelain, tool makers, cuckoo clocks, all that stuff. We'll keep it simple. We'll go with a distillery, and I'll plonk that just there. So I need to make a slight change over here to our lines. If I take this out, it's going to reset one of our trains. And these lines I'm going to put onto those platforms there. Like that. Let's just re-signal those. There we go. And now we're going to run a connecting line from here. Let's see, where's the water? There's a station. Okay. Run that across to there. Bring that out like that. You know, I'm just going to leave them over the water. It doesn't really matter too much. Let's put our passing line in, our second line. There we go. We need to put some signals on. There we go. It's definitely going to need a supply tower along this run because it's, again, a very long run. And we're going to run fruit straight into Berlin. In fact, you know what? I've realised. I take all this out. I just realised I can do this much, much more efficiently. Again, this is going to reset a few trains. We can just run direct into Berlin itself. Like this. I'm seeing a few, issues with our trains again. I'm not too worried about that. We'll have a look at those in a moment. Go. Signals. Excellent stuff. And then we just need to put that supply tower back in. Halfway along the routes will do. There we go. We've got Richard Farm running in there. That's the old route running through there. It'll automatically reconfigure itself. There you go. Let's check what platform we're running on. That's running on platform 2. Okay, that's fine. Let's clone that train. Get 4 of those running. How is our fruit production going to cope with those extra trains? Probably not well, so we'll upgrade now before that empties out completely. There we go. That'll help quite dramatically. While we've been dealing with all that, Brandenburg up to 113,000. That's closing in very nicely. Berlin, with that new product and the new commodity coming in as well, will improve. We've got a shortage of wool because we had to reset some of our trains with the messing around of the line over here, but that'll resolve itself. What about Magdeburg? Up to 106,000. And our dairy is not producing a surplus at the moment, is it? Or not much of a surplus. It's either being shipped out immediately or it's just being swallowed up. See, here's our dairy trains about to arrive back for top-ups, and we've got more trains already on the way. And we've got plenty of dairy to work with, so that's okay. Don't have any dairy nearby being sent into Berlin, do I? Let's have a look. Yes. But only one. Okay, we need at least 2 more dairy trains running into Berlin. Got plenty of available dairy at that location, so I'm not worried about that in the slightest. What about dairy running into Posen? Posen's already over 120, so I'm not too worried about that. That won't decline enough to be an issue. Cottbus, 173,000 people effectively, give or take. So let's have another scroll through. Magdeburg is up to 107,000, but is now out of hops. Again, we might need to improve our hops situation over here. Yes, we definitely need to upgrade that business. I'm going to upgrade that all the way up to level 4. And I'm going to throw an extra train on there as well. Which should... I think I may put the wrong train on there. Good, come on, to... Ah, I see, it's going from... It's waiting to spawn in down here. I'm not sure what's happened to that train. Either way, Magdeburg is growing again, so that'll get itself up to 120. I'm not too worried about that at all. Berlin growing again. Good. So that's on its way. Let's cycle through. So we start at the beginning of Berlin. Brandenburg is about to hit 120. We need 4 more cities, so Brandenburg's going to make 3 more. There we go, so 3 more cities needed now. What else is close? Essen, still not there yet. You can see everything just underperforming at the moment. The distillery not producing fast enough. Let's expand that. Definitely not producing fast enough. We're going to expand that to level 3. Brewery, again, no hops. So we'll have to look at Essen. Frankfurt is still struggling. It's got the materials, it's just not producing fast enough, so we'll increase that level. Brewery's doing okay. Bakery is doing okay. So we need to take a look at Essen and Frankfurt. Magdeburg is pushing itself way up there, look. So those are our cities, and then we've got Stuttgart, which is stalled again as well. Why is Stuttgart stalled? Not getting enough fruits. Not getting enough pigs. Not getting enough wood. And the boots will come as a byproduct for the pigs. So we need more wood trains, we need more pig trains, and more fruit trains going into Stuttgart, which is over here somewhere. That's Frankfurt's. Stuttgart's down here. There it is. So, why are we clogging up over here? There's a lot of stuff moving its way up to this location, which is kind of getting in the way of itself. To be a little expected, I suppose. So it's just not an ideal rail network which is causing those delays. Our fruit trains are having to fight against traffic to get in there. But they are getting in. That's a wood train. So we're just not producing wood fast enough. No. So I'll expand that. What about fruit? And plenty of fruit available, just not enough trains to deliver it, by the look of it. Yeah, we've only got one train going to Stuttgart, so I'll throw 2 more on there. What about wood trains to Stuttgart? We've got 2. Let's throw in 2 more. There we go. And this is going to be a backup city in case we can't get either Essen or Frankfurt up to where we need them to be. So what's the issues that we're having over here? We're now producing enough porcelain. We're not getting the fruit in fast enough. We're not getting in the... is it grain or hops? Hops fast enough. So where are the hops? The hops are here. We have 1 hops train. Okay, we can easily fix that. Let's throw 2 more on the line instantly. Problem solved. We've got plenty of materials for the porcelain. It's the fruit that we need to look at. And the fruit is over here. So how many fruit trains do we have running from this station? So let's see. We want to Essen. So I've got 1, 2, 3 trains, and they're carrying a mixture of fruit and wood. So yeah, we need more trains. I'll throw 2 more on there. We also need to check how much fruit is being generated here. Plenty, more than enough. So we're just waiting for those trains to basically get through this network here and then get through Cologne into Essen. So that should hopefully sort itself out. What else can we throw in there as extra goods though? Do they need more grain? They're okay for grain. They need spuds. We've got the wood situation hopefully sorted. They need meat and clothing and dairy and beets, candies. Do they need dairy? Do we say dairy? Yes, they need dairy. They need 1.1 cartloads per week. That's being produced over here. Plenty of it, look. So let's get some freight going back and forth between Essen and Gütersloh. We've only got the 2 trains at the moment. Let's throw in an extra couple. Make our way back over here. Where are our new trains spawning from? From Essen, by the look of it. Yeah, there they are. Going out empty. 1 unit of beer. But it's the opportunity to bring that dairy back. So this one here, I want to just go in here and I want to focus on bringing back dairy on that train there. Do we not have a supply tower? Yes, we do. It's this line here that doesn't have a supply tower. Right. Doesn't have any signals on this stretch of track here either. I think it's the only train, so it's not a major issue, but we'll drop it in the middle just in case we need to add in a second train. That splits that up into 2 sections there. What else can we throw in here? We were looking at grain, weren't we? Okay, we've got a nearby grain source over here. I'll be running trains that way. 1 train. Okay, now we're running 3 trains. And we'll get the other one to go in on platform 1. There we go. What else can we throw into Essen? They wanted potatoes and fruit and beets and candies and all that stuff. And they needed meat as well. Where are our meat supplies coming? Between Cologne and Essen. That's fruit. That's basic materials there. Is that a meat train? That's another fruit train. There we go. Cologne to Essen. We only have one train going back and forth between the two. That's not good enough. That needs to be more. So we're going to throw in an extra one of those trains. And then I'm going to... Oops. Go from Essen to Cologne. I hate when you accidentally click off something and you lose it instantly. There we go. Let's get some trains going back and forth between those two. Look at all this material we've got going, and no, we just expanded that, haven't we? So we don't need to expand that again. Plenty of fruit coming in here as well now, so let's expand this industry again to keep up with demand and also try and supply nearby Cologne as well. Brewery now has a good supply of hops, so we should start producing beer quite quickly and efficiently. I'm actually going to expand this industry again. So we're going to kick through a lot more beer. We're also going to burn through our supplies a lot faster, but we do have this hop supply really, really close by, and that should be okay. And Frankfurt was the next one, wasn't it? We're still struggling at Frankfurt in terms of overall supplies. Not quite got enough to get us over the line yet. We need more woods. We need dairy. Beets. Again, it's looking for where we can get these supplies coming from. Well, there's fruit, there's there's alcohol here. Let's see if we can get some freight running back and forth. So we've got Frankfurt to Kassel. That one's running meat. That one's running clothing in the opposite direction. What's this one going to load up with? Boots. That one's already carrying boots as well. So we've got 4 trains running through. None of them are carrying any stuff from here. Again, look, we've got the product, we're just not producing fast enough. So that should take care of itself, but we're going to throw in 1 extra train on this line as well. Push that up to 5 trains, because again, it's a fairly long journey between the two, so that'll help us out there. We've got more points to spend. Either want something that's going to make things faster or more reliable. Faster. Anyway, more powerful trains. Oh, promoter. Okay, so we've got 3 towns remaining. We've got Frankfurt, which is kind of struggling a little bit. Essen, which is improving, so that's good. We don't need to worry about Essen at the moment. What was the other one? Berlin's growing as well. That's good to see. Magdeburg has stalled ever so slightly, but I'm pretty confident we can turn Magdeburg around. I'm going to use Frankfurt here is only at 51%. Essen is at 60% and now going back up again. So we're going to use the promoter here on Frankfurt. And that'll get that town up to 120 with no effort at all. That is awesome timing. Really, really helpful timing. Let's head back over to Essen, which is growing. Beautiful. There we go. Oh, it stalled just before it hit 120. Now it's falling again. That's ridiculous. If we take a look at Frankfurt, though, look at that. Our promoter's pushing it up ridiculously fast. It's brilliant to see. Essen almost there. Slow time down a second. 2 more cities needed, so one of them's going to be Essen. Just need that little bit. That little bit. They just need a little bit more of the porcelain material, which I always forget. What is the name of that product? Feldspar. There we go. We just need a little bit more feldspar to come in. There we go. I think it's arrived. Something's arrived. We've got up to 60%. I'll tick on over to 61. Go on. Go on. Almost there. Population is going up ever so slightly, look. At the moment, it needs that 61% to get proper growth. There we go. Proper growth, 120,000. So we need one more city, and then we are done with at least these challenges. I wonder if there's going to be anything else left after this. I hope not. I hope we've done enough. Magdeburg. Oh, Magdeburg has slumped quite badly. Magdeburg needs wood. And lots of it. Okay. We can fix that. So this is our wood connection. Magdeburg. Okay, oh, we've only got one train going in there. Alright, now we've got 4. There's our wood plants. Yeah, look at that. We've got plenty of space. Plenty of product there. It's just no trains to deliver it. So those trains will start delivering the wood in here. So we've got a little bit of wood delivered at the moment. What else do we need? Short on meat, on bakery stuff, on wool, fruits. Short on quite a few things. Could do with another promoter, really. Brandenburg has stopped. Brandenburg's not getting the grain in either. Oh, look at all that. We need more trains. We've only got 3 trains going in there. Let's throw 3 more in. How many trains do we have going in on this side? So Magdeburg, 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go with 7. Because we're carrying 2 separate commodities rather than just one. And, you know, our demand is so much higher now that these cities are so much bigger. Berlin has stopped growing at 110,000. I suppose we could have just gone here, couldn't we? No pigs. Where are our pig trains? All at the far end of the loop. And getting stuck here, waiting to go through. We've got 6 trains carrying pigs. Throw in 2 more. There we go, Magdeburg is growing again. This is it. I hope. This is the last town. How are we doing time-wise? We needed to get this done by 1864, so again, it's just going to be a green tick. Not a gold tick, but a green tick. But, it's a tick. It's going to stop right before... This is just cruel. Ah, so cruel. Look at that, we've got plenty of wood now. Plenty of hops. Expand the brewery. Expand the furniture industry again. No point expanding the dairy, there's just no dairy to process. Come on. Give me that last little impetus. Population's actually decreasing ever so slightly. Go back up. Keep going up. No, up. Don't go down. Oh. No, here we go. Little spurt of growth. No. Not quite enough. Ah, this is so frustrating. Give me that last little bit. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Where are my dairy trains? Broken down. Ah, that's why. I got a bad condition breakdown on the line over here. Magdeburg to Warehouse 3. Well, it's a hell of a long journey, isn't it? Is there not a... Yeah, there is a maintenance shed there. What about Magdeburg? So, yep. So that'll just get fixed up when it gets into the station. That's okay. Come on, get that fulfillment up to over 60. Come on, give it that a little bit more. Beats in here. Because that's something I can do something about. I've got a little bit of beat, not much. What about candies? What happened to my candies? My beets being... No. Being delivered. I need more beets. Throw an extra beet train on the line. Brandenburg to Magdeburg. Get 2 more of those trains running. Hopefully they'll produce, or they'll carry in goods that we actually need. Oh, we dropped to 54% fulfillment. If only we had a nearby source of potatoes. They're a long, long way off and not easy to connect. Got potatoes all the way over there. Screw it. This is the last city. That means building an obscenely long line just for some spuds. And that's what we'll do. And we'll bring it in right in front of the station. Get our supply tower, because it's not connecting to the supply tower on our main route. We'll get that about halfway along. Okay, let's create a new line. We'll be running over 300 trains by now, surely. There we go. And we'll just throw... No, don't change. Let's get 4 trains of spuds on the way. Fulfillment's down to 50% now. No wood. Well, wood's on the way. There's beer being shipped out to Brandenburg. Let's expand that industry. Bakery getting on. We're going to expand. Oh, God, look at that. Huge suddenly increase of grain there. Start producing more goods there. I'm going to expand that industry again as well. I think we could probably get away with possibly expanding this a bit more. Now we'll leave it like that. That should be enough. And then we've got some stuff that we can send back. We focus in on this train as we speed time up, see what it picks up and takes back with it. Mixture of candies and smoked ham. I would imagine. Oh, it's being serviced. Oh, it's all baked goods. All pastries. That's okay, we need the pastries. That's a commodity that we can use. And again, we've got a little bit of a choke point just here.
Industry has
Oh, there we
gained
go.
more
We're done.
and more power, and voices of everlasting troublemakers have faded. They will probably never be completely silent, because it seems to be a basic German need to speak ill of their government over a beer. The goal of a German state has not yet been achieved, and the bond which is holding the German states together is fragile. However, the solid foundation has been laid, and I feel indebted to you. For now, we are prepared for any troubles that may lie ahead of us.
Alright, so let's see what our score was. It's going to be bad. I'm pretty sure of that. We started strongly, and then we just started running out of time on everything. Kind of going in and playing this a second time, there are a lot of things I would do differently. Certainly in terms of organising the rail network better. But, yeah, let's see what we did. Accountant. Oh, we didn't even make engineer. That's disappointing. So, never mind. If we'd play that on a harder difficulty, then I think we would have had a ×3 bonus, which would have given us an overall rating. Would have been higher. Our time rating would have been great, but our overall difficulty with the ×3 multiplier for very hard, that would have given us probably a presidential rating, because we got all of the tasks done with a better than half time average across the board. So yeah, maybe just upping the difficulty and playing through again exactly the same way would have been enough. But there's definitely going to be a better way of playing through, a more organised, more structured way. If we'd made some of those changes to streamline our network a lot earlier, when we, not having the foresight, the forethought, or the foreknowledge of the upcoming tasks made that tricky. Now we know what those tasks are. The next time we can go in with that in mind and plan accordingly. So there we go. That is it. That's the end of our run through on the Patchwork scenario. It's the end of our run through on the German DLC. I'm going to take a little break from Railway Empire, just for a little while. We'll be back soon enough. There's still an upcoming France DLC that we'll be taking a look at as soon as that comes out as well. But next up will be Spin Tires. It's a brand new DLC for Spin Tires coming up, and we'll be running through that for a little bit, and then hopefully, maybe, we might possibly have Bus Sim. It depends on when that's going to be released. So yeah, that's it from me. Thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more stuff yet to be determined beyond Spin Tires very soon.